Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and I garden in a zone 4B, and it is the start of March. Spring is just around the corner, or at least just the date, because it is very far for me because I have about 4 feet of snow out there. I have snowbanks that are about 5 to 6 feet. It's just crazy. Last week we got about 2 feet of snow dumped on us. So it's like most of you can get out in your gardens and I'm very far from it, but at least I have my plant room, which is in my garage. And so these are just cuttings. They share a tray right now. I have to pot them up at some point. I've just been kind of waiting. And then I moved it over here just because I'm trying to figure out how to make more room for plants to give them more airflow. Because I've been having issues with algae. It's just right now my plant room is in my garage. I keep it, now I'm keeping it at about 63 because during the daytime it's getting to about 71 degrees in here. And that's just part of growing in my garage. These coleus will look like this. This is just one plant in here. And then I also have a fan. I turned it off just for sound. I have it at 3. I know that's pretty high, but things are just, it's a little humid in here. Plus a dehumidifier, which is causing it to heat up a little bit more. And I have to run that. Otherwise, I'd be having huge issues. And I also opened up my window, and it's only probably about 34 degrees outside. It feels very tropical in here right now. These are Tradescantia cuttings. They're doing good. I've pinched some. I've been having some issues with fungus gnats more so. And I think that's just due to the humidity level and especially with this warmth. So I normally put mosquito bits on top, and then when I go to water, it kind of soaks in. But I did go according to the package on this, which I get from Amazon, and it says to soak 4 tablespoons of mosquito bits in a gallon of water, let sit for 30 minutes, and then pour on the soil. So I did that. So I'm just kind of testing it out. I figure if I see any bad effects, these are just cuttings, I'm fine. But if it's seeds that I've started and babied and can't replace, that would be kind of a bummer. But we'll see how I like that. I do have more yellow sticky tape coming. I'm not concerned. I don't see an issue with my plants so far. Swedish ivy. And then I have a container back here of Tradescantia. And this is just taken from, these are cuttings. And I always do this for my aunt every year. And then taking cuttings have just been an issue this year. I thought I had a foolproof way and I didn't. So now I'm going with this. I just put plastic here to help keep humidity in. And then I have a 72 count tray here, and it's looking really good. It's just, I know I'm gonna have to come in here. It's wood, so it's just a cabinet, and just take some bleach to it at some point, because I know with the humidity I will have issues. I'm hoping another week and then it should be good. But they look good. They're not wilting. Probably the best so far. And then I mainly get my seeds from Swallowtail Gardens, Select Seeds, and Baker Creek. And these were all from Swallowtail Gardens, and these are pelargoniums, and they're just amazing. I don't have to pot, I mean, that's a good size container. I'm not seeing any roots yet, so they'll be fine in there for a little bit. I love these. This tray here can hold 32 of these pots. I had these pots for about 3 years, and I like them because they're a little bit deeper, but they were tippy in these trays. So I got this from Bootstrap Farmer, and makes a huge difference. So I can do this and not have to worry about them tipping. I love it. And it was always an issue when I was bringing my plants in and out for hardening off and also watering. And then they tip and I have to set it back up. Otherwise, if you don't, then the stems start to bend. But they look amazing. The lights will go a little bit closer. I have them farther away just so you can see it a little bit better. Not right to the top. Once the plants are at this point, I could probably even leave it up here. And then that way that airflow will be a little bit better. So you will see algae on top of some of the soil surface, and I'm not concerned by that, but I do scrape it off if it really bothers me. These, yeah, this is a sign, but I just want to show you one last time what these look like. These are pelargonium cuttings I took last year. I'm going to be cutting off all the blooms and then letting it put energy into branching out and just good roots and foliage. Then they can be blooming when I plant them out in mid-May. This is a regal pelargonium that finally decided to throw off some buds, and I was happy because it was close to being chucked. So can't wait. And this is also a regal pelargonium. I don't think they'll be the same because this is a little more jagged with the foliage and the one over here is a little more rounded. So I'm hoping they're two different kinds. Probably out of, I would say, at least 100 pelargonium cuttings, these are what took. So, and then over here, this is, I didn't have room for one Korean featherweed grass, so it's just sharing a spot right here with some daylilies, which I was able to save some seeds for my plants last year. That's a green onion back there that I just shouldn't say harvested, I just used, and I would say in the last couple days, those two tall ones just shot up. It's a cutting of a yellow curly willow. And then look at this beauty. This is also seeds I saved from my plants, a hardy hibiscus. Look at the size of that stem. Hasn't grown very tall. I mean, it's I would say a foot, maybe a little bit more, but look. It's thrown off a bud. I could pinch that. I'm not going to, because if it does bloom for me, and I only say that just because they're under grow lights and it does not compare to the sun, but I'm hoping if it does bloom, I can kind of see what color it's going to be. So it's really cool. But I would say 2.5 months from seed to bloom. Wasn't expecting that. And these are petunia cuttings. I just have it in here. I don't have it underneath lights yet. I probably should with this one because those are starting to look pretty good. And then I decided to take some more cuttings to see. So it's just kind of an experiment. I've never taken petunia cuttings before, so this is looking pretty promising. And then I'm still having to get 2 more. They're LED lights, shop lights. And I usually get them at Walmart and they were out. So I'm just kind of waiting. And then over here is Lychnis. And I just potted these up. I'm sure you could probably see some fungus gnats in there, like right there. So I'm trying to let them dry out as much as possible, and then a lot of these on bottom watering, and then I have to water on top too for those mosquito bits to work. So this is where I'm just trying to figure something out. And then these are all white swan echinacea. And I'm growing the majority of these perennials for my new area. We cannot wait. And then I have lots of Nepeta. I have an idea what I want to do with this. So, and then over here, what is this? Prima Donna Rose Echinacea. Looking pretty, oops, I gotta go in the light. Looking really good. I'm trying to be careful with the watering because some of these plants do not like to be overwatered. So it's been a little bit of a learning experience. And then in here, I'm just trying something different because I wanted to create kind of a plug tray. And I have these egg cartons in it, styrofoam. And I can fit 18 in here. And then this is just the lid, and I put it on the bottom just to give it some more stability. But I'm hoping all I have to do is just pop those out. I can pot them up without disturbing their roots too much. So it's working good so far. I did have this on the box. It's a little closer. Like I said, when I first start the seed starting, I want them closer to the lights. But once they're a little more established like this, I'm not too concerned. These should be close. This is Marshmallow Yarrow, which I have another sowing, which is amazing. Down here, this is all Lisianthus. Doing pretty good. I mean, look at the size of that one. 3 different kinds. I probably water it twice a month. So fertilizing probably only happens once a month if. It just takes a bit for them to dry out. I did sow these, what was it, December 11th. And over here, these are really cool. So I had 2 different sowings, so you can see which ones were the later ones. They're a little bit smaller. So this is gonna be Carthusian Pink Dianthus Carthusianorum. And look at that. Cannot wait. It says it has grassy texture, and then, how tall do they get? 1 to 2 feet tall. So I think this will look really nice in my new area, along with some grasses. This does like it cooler for growing, so that's why I have it on the bottom, but it's not too cool in here right now. Lots of cords. And then we'll go over here. And this is the marshmallow yarrow. And so I was just trying that out with the the egg plug tray to see if that worked. I figured that's a good one because I figured this was going to be blooming. It's supposed to bloom constantly, but this is just a little too early. So look at that. I can't wait. So hopefully it does look like marshmallows. The one thing with the temp in my plant room is it's been every 2 days I have to water, which is a lot. So I came home from work and these were all wilting. So I'm just happy that they perked up. Some of them are really tall, not really tall, but you can see from the light to the bottom, there's not much room. So that's okay. They don't get that tall, I think only a foot. So this should be okay. Another hardy hibiscus. This was a later sowing. So, and then some grasses in there, which weren't looking too good. But right next door, this is Korean featherweed grass. Man, look at that. All started from seed. I got these seeds from Swallowtail Garden Seeds. So they look really good. Would not look at it. One of my favorite grasses. They're a later bloomer in the fall. They're really pretty. I love the foliage. So this is a must-have in my garden. That'll probably be going in the new area. And then this is a blue fescue. Look at that. And they're pretty close to the top. None of these lights are hot, so it's okay. And this was kind of a later sowing, so. And all of my annuals that I have potted up and perennials are all have a slow release fertilizer in them. I am not using a liquid fertilizer just because it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So it's working so far. So this is more Nepeta. Isn't that amazing? Some roots. So these will be potted up, I'm hoping, in about 2 weeks, maybe sooner than that. This can hold 32, and then when I pot them up into size like this, that'll only hold 18. So this is where I'm going to start losing room. Some of these were all wilting when I came home too, so they perked up, so it's good. I do have some different grow lights here. That I don't like the purple, and I can't tell you if I like them better or less. So I just don't like the purple, so that would be the only downside. So I don't see a difference between this, just a grow light, or the LED shop lights. So, and I'm going with the LED shop lights because they're cheaper. And then this is the Brushstrokes Viola, which is from Baker Creek. Go that way. Can't wait. I'm hoping I can get those planted out about the end of April. I'm sure they're all going to be blooming within the next month. Here I just have some grasses. Again, I don't like the lights here, but that's... And then I just don't like the purple. It's just really hard to look at. And then Savannah Ruby grass. They're taking their sweet time, so it's fine. I think once grasses get going, they really get growing. And I have sticky tape on here. These are the only 2 pelargoniums I got to germinate. They're the apple blossom. That's okay. And then these grasses right here, the Chinese fountain grass. I just potted all these up, I would say a few days ago. This is butterfly bush, and this gets huge, so it took a little bit to germinate, and then now they're looking really good. It's just a mix, so it could be kind of a purple, fuchsia, white, I don't know. I don't need all of them, but I'll figure something out. And then this up here is that. So they're looking good. I mean, like I said, some are looking tough. They were wilting. That was my fault. So then my dehumidifier is over here. And then I just have this hose that is right into this watering can here. And I do let it run all night long. That's because I would probably come out here and things would just be a little too much. More coleus cuttings, looking fantastic. Have to pot some of these up. They're looking okay. Definitely look at all the roots. I'm just kind of waiting just to kind of slow their growth down, because there's no fertilizer in here, and once I put them into a bigger container with slow release fertilizer, they just take off. So yeah, we got more, and then more back here. Hope you can see it because I've got a glare right now from the lights. And then I may or may not keep these. I just wanted to keep them until the cuttings took. And look at the coleus I started from seed. The sticky tape fell on this. I feel so bad, but it'll survive. And then again, they're in trays this size, or containers. Not few roots there. And I'm thinking I'm gonna try and space them out a little bit more just to give myself a little time before potting up. I mean, look at the size of these leaves. And I think here, I'm gonna switch hands. Look at that. I think that is like the Kong series, and I got these seeds on Swallowtail Garden Seeds. And then this one is just gorgeous. It looks like velvet. Love it. And then some different kinds, and that's a little more green back there. They just have really huge leaves. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Again, they're just... I'm amazed because they just kind of sat there for the longest time, and then when I potted them up and finally got them into some fertilizer, they just took off, and they are loving the humidity, that's for sure. Then I just had some extras back there, which are like this one right here. This one is branching off really nicely, if you can see that. Ooh, nice. Get you. Squished them, sorry. And then this coleus here is Colocha Sunset from Baker Creek. So I'm hoping it looks like that. Right now it's a little muted in color. You can kind of see a little bit of that coming through, but I'm hoping it's a little more vibrant because I'm not liking just that purpley maroon. So Plectranthus cuttings, just, I mean, it is gorgeous. And then these are petunias I started from seed. They've been growing for 2 months, over 2 months. I will be getting rid of these. I'm sorry, I know I'm a gardener, it's really difficult, but these are not gonna last that much longer. Can you see they're popping up through here? So they are amazing. This petunia, I took the cuttings, so we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna need the room here, and it's just, again, 2.5 months before they can go out. I will be starting my petunia seeds. I have probably 10 other varieties in about 3 weeks. And then this coleus is just gorgeous. So just more cuttings, and this is just where I have water for bottom watering. Kind of gives me a break. But yeah, that's what's been going on. So I have so many seeds I'm going to be starting here soon. It's crazy. So this is where I'm not sure I'm going to put everything, but like I said, I'll just worry about that whenever the time comes. Appreciate it, but yeah, I was thinking about and plus the containers they're in I'm going to need. So moving that, and then I can kind of space this coleus out just because the foliage is so huge, just to give it room to grow. Yeah, the coleus is just, that's amazing. That just makes my heart sing. But all the rest here too, I cannot wait. I'm saving myself so much money by starting these perennials. indoors. They're not unbelievable varieties, but at least this just helps out a little bit. And then, yeah, I can't wait to see how this works, because I'm thinking that this is how I'm going to sow my petunias, is because they're pelleted, so I can put a seed in each one. They usually get a really vigorous root system, but they sit there forever. So I just think this will be perfect. It's just, I have to keep up on the watering, because that does dry out, because it's not a lot. And I've been saving all the egg cartons. You know, it's kind of nice to recycle, especially whenever it's styrofoam. But yeah, so that is it. So I'm sure I usually do an update on my seedlings once a month. So April is probably going to be, I don't know where to go with them, but hey, that's the fun part of growing your own seeds. So hopefully you enjoyed, and bye for now.